Hi there. I'm going to give you some very valuable information regarding the gut and how the gut affects the rest of the body and every single illness that ever exists, how it starts in the gut. I want to start with saying just how I got into it in the first place, where I've got my information from, as quickly as possible, just to let you know, um, so that you know you can trust me as a good source of information. I really, really enjoy sharing this information in the salon and helping people that have problems when they don't even know that they have problems regarding acid, which is pretty much everybody. A lot of us have silent symptoms. So, as an example, from myself, I started with a problem after I had my children. I didn't realise straight away, but I started probably about 5 years ago. So, when Poppy was, I think, around 3, I realised I had an acid problem. Now, it wasn't manifesting in the way of acid reflux like it does, like they tell you it does. Probably thinking of the Alka-Seltzer adverts and things like that. They always showed a specific type of person. It might be a man over the age of 50, overweight, eating burgers, things like that. And like realistically, many of us are affected and we don't even know we're being affected, because it might be throat burn. That's how mine manifested. So I started with throat burn a long time ago, and I didn't recognise it as throat burn. I used to go to the doctors, which I rarely go to the doctors, but I used to go and they would examine my throat and say there was nothing there. And then I met one doctor one day that told me that it was acid in my throat, and he gave me a meprazone or something like that at the time, and it solved the problem, obviously short term. I don't believe personally in taking tablets to solve problems. I think you should get to the root of the problem. So later, after I'd had the children, I then realised that I had a hiatus hernia, and I discovered that by actually waxing my legs in the salon. And I leaned forward to wax my legs after having my lunch, and this burning pain came in my ribs, and I could feel something sticking out. I actually knew what it was straight away. I do know a little bit about hiatus hernias because I have a lot of clients that suffer from hiatus hernias. So, so that's where I started researching into it. And the first thing I started with was the best thing. It was a book by Dr Jonathon Aviv, which I still stick by, and I use his diet plans in there. That's been absolutely amazing for me to get some understanding on how it works. So in short, without going to bore people and too scientific, we have sphincter muscles at the top and the bottom of our esophagus, which takes our food obviously to our stomach. And the muscles tighten up at the top and the bottom when every time we eat and stop the acid coming up. We have protective cells at the top and the bottom, and they protect the lining of the esophagus. That gets damaged from a lot of the foods we eat, and some of that food you wouldn't consider it to be acidic. So it's that those get damaged, and therefore the acid can come up. And it's not just the acid in the stomach. The main problem is the pepsin. So this pepsin escapes with the acid, it jumps into our throat and sticks to it like Velcro. As Dr. Jonathon Aviv explains, this is how it works. Now that will stay there, and that will get activated each time you eat. So you imagine you've got like a little Pac-Man sat in your throat at the top, not where acid's supposed to be. And this little Pac-Man pepsin is what eats your food up, and it chomps away at your throat every time you eat because it's trying to eat something. It recognises that there's something in there and it chomps away at your throat. So a lot of people get reactions like coughs, and they might be clear in the throat, they get phlegm. I would have got that, like a sort of a feeling of phlegm at the back of my throat, a lump, clearing my throat a lot, even especially laid in bed, just start just doing that, thinking, why have I got this problem with my throat? And that's what it turned out to be. Now, I managed this myself. Obviously, use a doctor if you want, advice from a doctor and you want tablets and things. It's very rare, I think, that the doctors will give you advice. This is why I really respect Dr Jonathon Aviv with the work that he's done. I would look into his credentials, because if I read them out to you today, it's going to take me ages. He's very respected in the medical world. He's in America, and his information is just absolutely spot on. And I know it works because I've tried and tested it myself. So with some of the coming posts, I'm going to be suggesting a lot of the things that he suggests that worked for me, which is starting with the food in the gut. Just also to explain quickly as well, there's a lot of processed food which you wouldn't consider to be processed. So since the 1980s, they started putting high fructose corn syrup in everything. It's in your tinned food, your jarred food. It's even in biscuits. It's in bread. It's in things you just don't even expect it to be in, which is why the best thing you can do is grow your own food, make your own bread, etc., which we don't always have time for. And I did start doing a lot of that myself, which certainly helps. Obviously, the spraying foods with the different things, which isn't going to help us either. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that today as to like my little journey. That's where it started. That was 5 years ago, at least. So on studying the book, I read it twice. I then carried out the diet, which was a 28-day detox. I think I cried on day 3 because I just thought, how can I live on this diet? It was just so depressing. But if you stick with it, then the results are worth it, and then you do get used to a different diet. Now, I'm not suggesting everybody do a 28-day detox diet because it's really difficult, but I am suggesting that the majority of people will suffer from acid, even if it's in ways that they don't realise they're suffering. So I just really like to help people. I'm going to put some posts on suggesting, like I say, different things for your diet. I will be suggesting some minerals and vitamins as well that worked for me, but first and foremost, go with your diet. So always try and get your vitamins and minerals from your fruits and vegetables directly, rather than from a supplement. Supplements are just extra. They're just to make sure, and it might be a good place to start if you are deficient in certain things, just to help. My video just cut me off there. So yeah, so if you need to get them vitamins and minerals, get those just to get a head start on it. The main thing is to get that gut healed, and that's going to sort everything out. So that was just a quick story just to show how I got started looking into this stuff, and I've done a ton of research since, and I've also become a certified alkaline nutritionist as well, which I just love helping people out with, because so many people have problems regarding the gut health. So let me know if this might be helpful to you, and I will follow with some posts over the next week or so that will hopefully help you get a head start on healing your gut, which will definitely lead to a healthier body and a healthier mind too.